fight, trying to see where this life take me, so I roll the dice. Look up to no one else, but yeah, I was shy. I got real power, Hebrew Israelite.
Now what? That Christ should suffer. There's things written in the Old Testament that Christ has to suffer. Right, read. He have so fulfilled. We don't got to keep a commandment. He have so fulfilled. So Christ fulfilled the prophecies that he had to suffer. That's not talking about the laws. We don't have to do them anymore. Read this again. And then read it slow and clear for the sister. But those things which God before had shewn by the mouth of all his prophets, his prophecies of Christ that he has to suffer. Deuteronomy 18, Psalms 68, Isaiah the 53rd chapter, various precepts showing how Christ has to come and suffer. Read on. That Christ should suffer. He have so fulfilled. He have what? He have so fulfilled.
The camera was pointed at me. You think I'm
sister.
All
right, that's our apology, sister.
Tell him to delete the video.
All right, sister. Okay.
Tell him to delete the video.
You get. All right, sister. Okay. Now I have one more. I have one more precept for you before you start bugging out. I have one more verse. Read this. It's the book of Luke, chapter 24, and verse number 24, and certain of 44, and verse 44.
Can you back up?
Sisters, the demons get cut up and the demons start coming out. Hebrews 4:12. Hebrews 4:12. You can drop that.
It's not on you.
No, we got it. That should get all these more. Hey, sister.
You're getting in the camera. Stop walking in the camera.
Sister, get out the camera.
I was standing there and he was doing this.
Sister, get out the camera. Read this.
Hebrews
chapter 4 and verse 12. For the word of God is quick. For the word of God is quick. We got again. For the word of God is quick. Please be emotional. For the word of God is quick. And powerful. What? And powerful. This is what? And powerful. And sharper than any two-edged sword. I should just say every brother's face.
Right.
What did the brother do? Hey, sister. Sister. So that's what happened when the word come out. Started getting emotional. Started down. Because all hell breaking loose. I started twitching. Why your eyes twitching? Yeah, I was perfectly fine all of a sudden. You read 3 verses and the eyes start twitching. Don't get in the camera.
No, I was standing.
Don't get in the camera.
No, I was standing with you.
That's our apologies. I'm sorry.
No, hold on. You and me were talking for like 30 minutes straight, right? Having our dialogue. He came along beside me.
Calm down.
No, wait.
Let's calm down.
Okay, well, you're telling me I'm walking into the camera. When he came beside me and started recording me.
Okay, my apologies, sir. And I'm pretty sure the brother's sorry. He didn't mean to offend you.
He's laughing. And so are you.
Read this. Read this again.
I'm not reading it.
This is what the Hebrews.
That's Michigan Avenue.
Michigan Avenue.
And it's all good. That's spirits. That's what happened when the words of the Lord. Give me Jeremiah chapter 20, verse number 8. Let's get Jeremiah 20 and 8. So you get, let's read this. We're going to stay spiritual. Let's read this.
Look at Jeremiah chapter 20 and verse 8. For since I spake, I cried out.
Verse 9.
Verse 9. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in my heart as a burning fire.
What is his word?
But his word was in my heart as a burning fire.
No, just a little like him.
As a burning fire.
This word is a burning fire. How you doing, brother? You see yourself on the sun? Brother, tuck the sun around real quick. You see yourself on the sun? So-called African American, West Indian, and Haitian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, etc. Where do you see yourself in? American black, so-called. Now let me ask this: do you believe in the Bible? You do believe in the Bible. So did you know that the Bible is actually a history book, not a book of religion? So the Bible, when you go into it, it has every nation or every race written off in the Bible, all 18 nations. So my question to you is, if the Bible has everybody's history in it, what do you read about your history of in the Bible? You said you don't? Well, the thing is, brother, you actually do read about it. You read about the Israelites.
Right.
And you read about your history all throughout the Bible. We're going to show you that. Let's get Deuteronomy 15. Verse number, 28 and 15. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. We're about to read you the state of the so-called African-American man in the Bible. Let's get Lamentations chapter 5, verse number 3.
Bring it out.
Let's read this.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
If the Israelites, God's chosen people, if we don't listen to God, we don't.
to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
All these words.
all these curses,
One more time.
all these curses,
So if I was to ask you in 2023, what nation of people have generational curses put upon them, who would you say? Us. Now the Lord said that the Israelites is going to be curses placed upon them. Jump to verse 46.
verse 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign,
So these curses are going to be upon God's chosen people, the Israelites, for a sign. Read on.
and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever,
It's a generational curse.
and upon thy seed forever,
Just 3 days.
forever.
So these curses are going to be upon the Israelites forever. And they're going to be known as a sign and a wonder. I'm going to give you 3 curses to let you know how we're God's chosen people by the estate of the Israelites. Let's get Genesis 40 and 15. Bring this out in Lamentations. It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 5, and verse number 3. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. It says our mothers are widows and we're orphans and fatherless. What nation of people in 2023 is known for having a fatherless household? Us. So why does it say that the Israelites are known for having fatherless households? Surely these people, I mean, if you ask me, we're linking up perfectly with the people in the Bible. We don't. Our wood is sold unto us, saying that the things that were once ours, now is sold unto us. So again, believe it or not, brother, our people used to own these trees. The trees, the cattle, the farm, the money, our people own these things. Now we're saying that our own wood, meaning our own possession, is sold unto us. Now we gotta buy our wood from a whole nother nation of people.
Right.
Imagine a nation of people, they come to your land, they destroy you. Now the things that was already yours, now you gotta pay for it. You gotta pay for water. How do you gotta pay for water? It comes out the sky freely. Can you try to collect it? They say, they smack you up, they say no. They gonna throw you in prison for God knows how long. All for what? All for you getting back what's yours. These things are happening to the Israelites. These are the generational curses that's put upon them. You know? Our necks are under persecution. The Lord says, our necks are under persecution. It's George Floyd. Our necks are under persecution. The Lord said that the Israelites' necks will be under persecution. Meaning it will literally be knees on our necks, chains and yokes of iron on our necks. Like look at this brother right here. It says our necks are under persecution. I mean, you can't make this up. One nation of people, necks were literally under persecution. That's us, you know? Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. It said we labor and have no rest. So-called black and Hispanics are the hardest working people in America, in the world. But it says we labor and we have no rest.
Right.
If you labor, you should be able to relax and enjoy the fruit of your labor. After you put so much work in, you should be able to chill out, you know what I'm saying, go on vacation, etc. But it said that the Israelites, they labor and have no rest. Meaning you a slave just constantly working. If these people have rest in the slave field, that's the definition of laboring and having no rest. I'm gonna give you another one. Let's read this. 40 and 15.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 40, verse 15.
Get out.
For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews.
Out of where?
Out of the land of the
The
Hebrews.
Lord said that the Israelites indeed was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews. Now again, what nation of people was stolen out of their own homeland, carried across the waters, and placed in another land, and got put into slavery and captivity? That's us. And again, we keep reading from front to back, from so-called New Testament to Old Testament, that our people link up with God's chosen people, the Israelites.
Right.
So if our history links up with the Israelites, then by default, what's our race in 2023? Our God-given race. It's the what? The Israelites.
Right.
We would be the Israelites according to the Bible. Because again, read Deuteronomy 28 and 46. Read that one more time.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 46.
Get out.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So the Lord, He placed these curses on our people for a sign. A sign is an identified marker to let you know what is what. The Lord put signs on our people, which is the curses, to let us know in the last days that we will be the real Israelites according to the Bible. Read Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. Because if I was to ask you, what's your heritage? Which fruits did you eat? What's your what garments and clothes that our people wear? Would you be able to tell me? You wouldn't be. Now let's say it's another curse. Let's see if the Israelites in the future, would they be able to tell what their nationality, their history, and their heritage was? Let's read this.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4.
Get out.
And thou, even thyself,
Say you, even yourself. Right? It says you, even yourself. Read on.
shall discontinue from thine heritage.
So the Israelites, again, the people on that side would discontinue from their heritage. And I just asked you, what was your ancient flag? The foods that you ate, your customs, right? The dances. The Lord said that our people were discontinued. And you just said that you don't even know what your heritage is. Showing that you are indeed, without a shadow of a doubt, the people that's written up in the Bible.
Right.
And that's our people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know?
That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Now in 2023, we're serving our enemies in a land that we know not.
Right.
Carried to a whole nother land serving our enemies. What's your nationality, sis?
Arab.
You said what?
Arab.
Arab. All right. Hey, brother, real quick, I got a flyer for you, brother. I got a flyer for you. Right. All right, brother. Now look into it. We got the QR code on there, etc. On the back, we got our YouTube channel. Got information, etc. All right, brother. Look into it. All right, I thought James Hartman. You turn away for 1 second to answer a question and try to pull off. All right. You said you Arab? Alright, so how do you feel about slavery and the estate and the condition of so-called black people in 2023?
Still happening?
That's what's still happening. Slavery still happening in 2023. How do you feel about the estate of black people in 2023 though? How do you feel black people are getting treated?
Shitty.
You say, yeah, that's right.
Shitty.
Alright. Now, what do you think you can do as an individual to help us? Because clearly you see we're out here trying to help so-called black and Hispanic people. But it's a little bit more help that we need. That's where you come in. So what do you think you come in to put your brick to try to help so-called black people?
I'm only 16.
Only 16?
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's get Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21.
Get out.
Isaiah 14 and 21. So you have something called judgments that's written up in the Bible. Every nation's history is written up in the Bible from front to back. Your beginning is written and your latter end is written. So you as a 16-year-old, you have to know your judgment that God has set up for so-called Arab people. Alright? Let's read this.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21.
So at school, did they ever teach you about the sub-Saharan slave trade? They never taught you about it? My brother can pull up the sub-Saharan slave trade real quick. Let's learn about your history. About the so-called Arabs. Let's go into it real quick. Right, sub-Saharan slave trade. So essentially, the so-called Arabs have black people in slavery.
Right.
Did you know that?
I do now. Yeah.
So you had on the West Coast, that's not on the West Coast, but you had all throughout Africa, you had Arabs put in so-called Negroes in slavery. That's Jacob, right? But again, you had so-called Arabs putting so-called Negroes in captivity and slavery. Brother, can you read this real quick? Read this real quick. So learn about your history and what your people did to my people. And for that reason, you have to know the judgment that's following it. Let's read this.
The sub-Saharan slave trade. The trans-Saharan slave trade, also known as the Arab slave trade,
As the what?
as the Arab slave trade,
You know that Arabs had a whole slave trade in Africa? What are Arabs doing in Africa? Read on, we're gonna show you.
was the Arab slave trade in which slaves were transported across the Sahara Desert.
So you guys literally had what they, in history books, what they would say, black Jews carrying us and dragging us all across the deserts. Does that sound like something fun? Snatching a whole group of people and dragging them across deserts? That's what your people did to my people. So do you know the judgment that the Lord has set up for that? Let's read this.
Book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21.
Get out.
Prepare slaughter.
The Lord said,
Prepare slaughter.
Say it again.
Prepare slaughter.
The Lord said, prepare slaughter. You know what slaughter is? What is slaughter? Is it violently killing? Is it violently killing just 2 or 3 people? Or a massive amount of people?
I mean, you can slaughter one person.
All right, well, the Lord's not dealing with slaughtering just one person.
Right.
Because again, a whole nation of people did this to our people.
Right.
So best believe one person is not going to pay. But we're going to show you. We don't.
Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their
The
father.
Lord said, prepare slaughter for his children. You will be the children of your ancestors.
Right.
That put my people in slavery, in captivity, and bondage in Africa. And dragged us all throughout the coast of Africa. So let's get verse 1. So knowing that, your latter end is slavery and death and destruction. So just know that you have no future.
Right.
All right. Now in America, you can live it up, you can do what you want, freak off. It's all up to you. But just know after that, your latter end is death, captivity, slavery, woe, destruction, and that's about it. All right. Are you ready for that? You don't think so? Well, best thing is to get ready right now.
Right.
All right. Do you work out? You don't work out? Well, easiest thing after the Sabbath, or it's probably tomorrow. Try getting like a gym membership somewhere. All right. LA Fitness. What else they got? They got LA Fitness. Got the local gym. Yeah, that's cheap. You know what I'm saying? So again, you got these different workout facilities that you can go to get yourself ready for slavery and captivity.
Right.
All right. Now let's read this.
It's the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1.
Get out.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them.
So you will be a stranger according to the Bible. A stranger in some context is a heathen nation on your side. Right? Strangers will be heathen nations. You will be a stranger. So the stranger is going to be joined to our people. Read on.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them.
Shall do what?
Shall possess them.
Might as well go.
Shall possess them.
Our people is going to possess your people. And it's no respect of person. It doesn't matter if you're 90 years old or if you're 3 years old. No, my people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, in the near future is going to have your people, his people most definitely, in slavery. Who else? Of course, the so-called the Moabite men, and all these nations that have my people in slavery and captivity. Y'all are going to slavery and captivity. That's Psalms 83 and 1. You know?
Them, slug it. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord. For serving.
Where's she gonna be?
For serving.
What?
For serving.
Are you ready to serve black people and Negroes and Specks and Mexicans forever? You're not? Why not? Didn't all people serve your people? You said that was back then. But doesn't our people still hold an effect to this day?
Right.
So for example, if you had a household, you had a family, somebody came in, they beat your family down, they put them in slavery, they manipulated their minds for hundreds and hundreds of years. You don't think that's gonna have an effect just a couple years later? 100%. That's the same thing right now. So-called white men and so-called Arab men. Let's actually read that. Your people came together and destroyed the minds of our people, and we're suffering that to this very day. Let's read this. Psalms 83. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1.
Get out.
What? What?
How are you suffering today?
I'm going to show you. Let's read this. Let's start with verse 3. Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Right? So your people said, I'm reading that, I'm showing you, because your people came and cut all people off from being a nation.
Right.
We was once the strongest people, like the toughest, the bravest. We had the living God on our side. But what happened? Your nation people came along, and now my people are in slavery and captivity for what your ancestors did. That's how I'm suffering to this day.
Right.
Because now I'm at the bottom of society.
Right.
Me and this brother and every brother out here should be at the top of society.
Right.
Having you in chains, bondage right now. But for that reason, we're not, because you broke God's commandment. Your people came upon my people, fell upon us with the sword, and I'm suffering that to this day. Let's get Isaiah 1:8. I'm gonna show you. Let's get Isaiah 1:8. Read this. Say what?
You're not at the bottom. You can bring yourself up.
Read this. They have said, come and let it. And of course she can say that because her people's not going through slavery and captivity. So she can say things like that and just be cool with it.
Right.
So let's read this.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are all confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom,
The so-called white man, read on.
and the Ishmaelites,
And who?
and the Ishmaelites, and the Ishmaelites.
Your biblical nationality would be what? Ishmael. So-called Arab. So the Edomites, the so-called white man, and you guys came together and put my people in slavery.
Right.
That's how I'm suffering to this very day, and I'm gonna show you that. Let's get Isaiah 1:8.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 8. And the daughter of Zion,
It's a proud little devil. You just proud. Just proud. That's okay though, because the Lord gonna get up with you. And the Lord gonna have his man and his servants get up with you too. So let's read this.
and the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Except the Lord of hosts hath left unto us a very small remnant.
Start at verse 5.
Verse 5. Why should ye be stricken anymore?
You said what? You said what?
There's nothing to solve here. There's no slavery here. There's slavery in other places.
Read
How are
this.
you suffering?
Why should ye be stricken anymore?
I'm about to read it to you. Hey, that Arab girl, you going into slavery.
Right.
And the Lord is going to kill you. You don't care how old you are. You don't care if you're 16, 3 years old, 90 years old. The Lord is coming back to kill you.
Right.
And she proud too. Talking about how you guys still in slavery. Talking about slavery, that was back then. Yeah, my people did it, but it is what it is. And these are these other nations think are people. Then you still got that one cool Jake. Say, well, hold on. Why are you talking to her like that? Bro, she just said she don't give a damn about you and her people putting your people in slavery.
Right.
So let's read this. Talk about how your people still suffering to this day. Read this.
Why should ye be stricken anymore? You revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and petrifying swords.
We have wounds and bruises and petrifying swords to this day. A petrifying sword doesn't clear up in 3 days, in 2 days. No, a petrifying sword lasts for a long time. And our people have petrifying swords on them to this very day. We have our people into being Muslims. Right, we was down there in Baltimore not too long ago. You had Jake getting down with Elon. You had so-called Negroes with red dots walking hand in hand with her with dresses on. Big, strong Jake, bald head with red dots on their head, trying to freak out with the Elamites and the Ishmaelites. And this is the state of our people. And that's why the Lord got to come back and kill 2/3 of our people.
Right.
How you doing, brother? You got 1 minute to know your nationality? You see yourself on the sign? You see yourself on the sign? Just stop for 1 second, brother.
1 minute.
Stop for 1 second, brother. For 1 second. Come check us out real quick, brother. 1 minute for God. All right, now, what do you see yourself on the sign? Yeah, what do you see your wrist on the sign? This would be a so-called African American, so-called American Black, African American. All right, so I'm pretty sure y'all believe in the Bible, right? So according to the Bible, where do you read about African Americans? The history of an African American and the culture. Because the Bible has everybody's history. It has the white man. You read about Alexander. You read about Cyrus the Great. You read about all these different nations and peoples. So where do you read about our people in the Bible? Africans? Yeah, you read about Africans too. But our people aren't Africans. Come to find out, we're better than Africans. So come to find out is that our people are the Israelites, God's chosen people. Let's get Exodus 11 and 7 real quick. And I'm gonna show you that. Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. I'm gonna show you how our people aren't Africans. Now again, you go into what Africans do. You just see that we have different spirits. I seen a video the other day. An African was bathing in carapace. Are you the type to bathe in cow piss, brother? Exactly, but again, we have it's videos of Africans that got that big ring on their lip. I mean, our people aren't doing that. You just find a big ass ring, you put it on your lip, and now your lip just 10 times bigger. You got a customized lip now. Our people not doing that. That's what the Africans do. Let's get Leviticus 18 and verse number 1. Let's read this.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7. But against the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue.
So come to find out, brother, you will be of the children of Israel. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans are the children of Israel.
Right.
It said against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue. Meaning no other nation can come up against you, you know?
Against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord doth put a difference.
The Lord put a difference between who?
Between the Egyptians,
What are Africans?
between the Egyptians
Between the Egyptians or Africans and who?
and Israel.
Who?
And Israel.
It's a difference between you, an Israelite, a man of the Lord, right? A man that has soul, and them some African. Again, Africans are big into a lot of wickedness. Again, they stick their head up cows' behinds. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of those videos. If you haven't, you can easily look it up. Africans sticking up their heads in cows' behinds. Our people not doing that. You're not searching for a cow. Man, you on a hunt for a cow to just stick your head in it. That's all. I'm gonna read you one more. Let's read it.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel.
Speak unto who?
Speak unto the children of
Is
Israel.
this brother?
Speak unto the children of
Is
Israel.
this sister?
Speak unto the children of Israel. Read and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do.
The Lord said, after the doings of the land of the so-called Africans and other ways, don't do it. Right? Don't be putting that nasty, fat ring thing on your lip. Don't be sticking your head of cows behind and showering the cow piss. The Lord said, don't do that. That's awful. Again, you're an Israelite, according to the Bible. And again, the Israelites are God's chosen people. And the reason why these things happen to us is because we broke God's commandments.
Right.
You know any God's commandments? Let's get Daniel 9 and 11. That's one. Thou shalt not kill. Okay. Name 5. No, that's not one. No. Okay, that's one. And adultery. Okay, yeah. No lying. No being false witness. No lying. Right? You can actually jump that. This is alright. 33 and 10. Alright, now that's good. That's 5 commandments. But the Bible actually, you think out of this big book, that's only just 10 things is doing don'ts. That's over 600.
Right.
Over 600. Now, of course, we're not going to give you all 600 right now. That would be foolish. Nevertheless, we're going to give you specific commandments that our people can keep as Israelites. Not as black people, not as Negroes or niggas or spicks, but as God's chosen people, the Israelites. I'm going to show y'all we Israelites real quick. Let's read this.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge the Lord hath delivered them, and made their ways diverse.
The Lord made everybody, but He made the Lord made everybody, but He made their ways diverse. Right. Different, you know.
Some of them have some of them He hath blessed and exalted, and some of them He sanctified and set near Himself. But some of them hath He cursed and brought low.
The Lord said it's a nation of people that He cursed and brought low. What nation of people in 2023 is brought low? Hey, well, that's the big question. What nation of people is cursed and brought low to the ground? Well, the Bible knows.
Right.
You will come to, well, we read the Bible, of course we know. Well, that nation that He cursed and brought low would be so-called black and Hispanic people.
Right.
We're cursed as a people. I mean, just look at our conditions. I mean, you say what?
You are your reality. So you have to put your mind to something better to be better.
Yeah, but as a nation of people, not just individuals, it's good, you know what I'm saying?
If we work
Focusing
together
on.
and realize our power, we can overcome everything that's going on. We just don't do that because we focus on being prideful and divided with each other.
Exactly. And that mentality causes us to be a curse like people.
But black people are so focused on what's going on in society, and today we're not focused on the history of what's going on and how to make ourselves better.
Exactly. And that's what we're yelling at. Now again, how do you know how people was cursed? Like I said, just look at that state. What nation of people's in the hoods? Strung out at bus stops and gas stations. On the block, gang banging. Black people.
Right.
These are what you call curses.
Not only black people, it's white people too though. That's why I say it's all about the reality that you make for yourself.
But as a nation of people though, as a nation, white people as a nation, they're literally ruling the earth.
Right.
I mean, I can go to the United States. White people are. But real quick, says, let me finish this point. Like I said, you have so-called white people that are ruling the earth.
Right.
They rule America. They rule Russia. They rule Africa. They rule Australia. They rule them South America. They rule over Mexico.
Well, why
These
is that?
nations.
That's because they stand together and black people are so divided.
No, that's ultimately it's because we broke God's laws.
Right.
We broke God's commandments. The same commandments that you just named, we broke those. That's why we're at the bottom and they're at the top. Come. Let's
So
get
they didn't break white people's commandment.
That's number one.
They didn't break God's commandment. Is that what you're saying?
Well, let's get out. So that is Psalms 147 verse 19. So God's commandment was only given to the Israelites. Why? Because we're his chosen people. If I have a son and then it's a random kid, I'm gonna give my blessings. I'm gonna get a source. I'm gonna get the keys of life to my son. I'm not gonna give it to a random kid walking past. Because it's my son, it's my inheritance. So it's the same thing with us. We are known as the sons or the son of God. And the daughters of God, the daughters of Zion. And so knowing that, the Lord, he gave us specifically laws, statutes, commandments that we should keep and to have us rule the world.
Right.
He gave us those. We said, I'm not dealing with that. I'm going to do me. And for that reason, we're at the bottom of society.
Right.
I'm going to show you. Let's read this.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19.
Yeah.
He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes,
What?
his statutes, and his judgments unto Israel.
Lord, he gave his source, right? The laws, the statutes, and the commandments to these people. And said to Israel, we are the Israelites.
Okay, so everybody's
Wait, real quick, sister, because it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more. Read this.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
The Lord not dealing with no other nations, you know?
As far as his judgments, they have not known them.
Oh, none of these nations know the Lord's judgments, you know?
Praise ye the Lord.
What's sad about it?
Praise ye the Lord.
Giving all praises to the Most High. He gave us his inheritance.
Right.
Now, what's your question? Can I answer? Or, I mean, if you got questions, this is the time to ask.
go back and forth all day. That's fine.
I'm not going back and forth. We can tap in the dialogue.
I know.
So, according to the Bible, the Lord, he gave us, the Israelites,
So basically, my takeaway from today is all black people are cursed because we don't listen to what the Bible says.
well, it's more than that. That's what we're trying to get into. It's more than that than just being just cursed. Because again, to every curse, it's a way how to reverse the curse.
Right.
Let's get Deuteronomy 28:1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse number 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently
We listen to God diligently. Read.
unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day,
We do God's commandments. Read on.
that the Lord thy God will set thee on high.
What Lord gonna do?
Will set thee on
See
high.
how simple that is? If we keep God's commandments, he's gonna set us on high. Right, read.
Above all nations.
Above who?
Above all nations.
Feel to be a king?
Above all nations.
No, princess.
Above all nations.
The Lord will literally set us above all nations if we keep his commandments.
Right.
Do you think we kept God's commandments as a nation? No. We broke God's commandments. So our main goal, that's what we out here, is to teach you God's commandments so we can rise back up as a nation of people.
Right.
Let's give Deuteronomy.
Well, y'all good luck.
Hold on, we gotta learn some commandments.
We know.
Sister, you're not keeping none of God's commandments.
How you know?
I can tell.
No.
Alright, I just know I can tell. Let's get Leviticus 19, verse 26. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Brother, you let the woman pull your way?
Come on, brother.
This is crazy. I can't, man, no. Sometimes you just can't take Jake serious. You wonder why we in captivity. Break it down, Then the minute you about to give her the sauce, to be a princess,
Tore down the strong.
feel on. Yeah, the minute you get in there, then she's ready. It's time to go. Give me Mark 4:15, the classic. Mark 4:15. And give me Proverbs 31 and verse number 3.
It's the book of Mark, chapter 4 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
And these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown.
Family, y'all got 1 minute for the Lord? Hey, brother, you got 1 minute for the Lord? Check this out, 1 second, brother. Read this.
And these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown.
And the word is literally being sown. They hearkening and asking questions. Read on.
But when they have heard,
Minute for the Lord. Read it.
but when they have heard,
But when they get in the understanding thereof, read.
Satan cometh immediately.
The Lord says,
Satan cometh immediately.
one more time.
Satan cometh immediately, and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts.
That's playing. Saint came, took away the word. You sowing a seed, but hey, you know what I'm saying? Saint is on fire too.
Right.
Same way how we should be on fire, burning, with our spirits burning forever, right? On fire 24/7. That's how the Saint is. We have to put that much more work in to cut down these strongholds, cut down these false ideologies, philosophies, and work that much harder to wake up our people. Because our people got strongholds on them.
Right.
So let's read this.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
Give not thy strength unto woman.
The Lord says,
Give not thy strength unto woman.
let your women drag you around.
Give not thy strength unto woman. Nor thy ways to that which destroyeth king.
And certain women can destroy a whole kingdom.
Right.
Women can destroy kingdoms. And now, brother, most definitely is getting his mind manipulated and has his mind captured by a woman. So Jack has no discipline nowadays. Jack just want to just go with the flow. Give me the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. Right, Jack just want to go with the flow. Whatever this woman want to do, follow right behind. Give me 1 Corinthians 11 and verse. Give me Sirach 43 and 30. We can drop that. Give me Baruch 4 and 30.
Bring it out.
Sirach chapter 43 and verse 30.
Bring it out.
When you glorify the Lord,
When you what?
when you glorify the Lord,
The Lord says,
when you glorify the Lord, exalt him much as you can. For even ye will be far exceed.
yeah, right.
For even ye, for even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength.
The Lord says,
Put forth all your strength.
Go ahead, fast.
Put forth all your strength.
Be lukewarm.
Put forth all your strength. Read and be not weary. For ye can never go far enough.
No man can never go far enough for serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Let's read this.
Book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 28.
Bring it out.
For as it was your mind to go astray from God,
As it was our mind of going straight from these laws, the statutes, and commandments, our living God, Yahushua, read,
so then return.
so commit back to the Lord, you know?
Seek him 10 times more.
The Lord says,
Seek him 10 times more.
and again,
Seek him 10 times more.
read,
For he has brought these plagues upon you.
that's why the Lord brought these plagues upon us, because we didn't seek him 10 times more. With that, pull your shoulder.
Pull me a shoulder.
Pull your shoulder.
Pull me a shoulder.
Pull your shoulder.
Pull me a shoulder.